Now I'm going off course with this one, but bear with me. Now, the previous videos that I've posted have been around my journey to home ownership, but it's not necessarily what my channel is about. It's a bigger picture. Now, as I've stated in my previous videos, I empower professional women to tap into their true selves and uniqueness to pursue a life aligned with their purpose. Now, home ownership and owning properties is a part of my purpose, which is why I decided to share my journey to home ownership to help another single mother or another woman out there who's wanting to build a life of her own be able to obtain home ownership when she doesn't qualify for a traditional loan. And be able to, again, create stability, legacy, longevity, and possibly financial freedom for herself and her family. Now, to shift gears a little bit, I started my YouTube journey, or I'll say started my channel last year, June of 2023. I didn't post my first video until October 31st of last year, and then didn't post again until April of this year. So clearly, I have been inconsistent. So I had to ask myself a hard question. Should you continue your YouTube channel? And then myself answered, yes, you should. Now, the reason being, so I deal with analysis paralysis and a slight case of perfectionism. And I overthink a lot and I overanalyze, which is why I don't make a lot of decisions. Now, that has caused me to be in a state of what I compare to like having OCD, is waiting until there's perfect conditions or a perfect scenario before I would get started, but it hasn't gotten me anywhere. Okay. So there's been some things that I've been doing to, help me get back on track so that I can start really moving forward in my journey. And it's not just with my YouTube channel, but it's with just posting on my social media platforms in general and other things that I have going on in my life. So I'm going to share 5 tips that has helped me to get myself back on track and start really making some progress. So the first thing is stop making excuses and make it happen. Stop making excuses and make it happen. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Stop making excuses and make it happen. Okay. A lot of times we tend to make excuses with all the things that we have going on in our lives. And as I've stated before, I'm a single mother of 3 kids. So I have a lot going on in my life, a lot of things that I have going on, whether if it's personally or dealing with the kids. And unfortunately, I do make excuses around, oh, I just didn't have time for that, or oh, I was so tired, or all of these other things, right? But in all actuality, you're going to make time for what you want to make time for. My daddy used to tell me that all the time. So, and I highly believe in that if it's something that you are truly passionate about or something that you're really wanting to accomplish, you're going to make time for it. If you can make time for social media and you can lay in your bed and scroll on social media and go from platform to platform for 1, 2, 3 hours, you definitely have time. If you can just spend time going out and hanging out with your friends and whoever, like all the time, you can make time, right? And especially again, if it's something that you're passionate about, or if it's like an interest of yours, and you're really wanting to pursue it, there's going to be a season or a time of your life where you're going to have to put things to a halt. And you're going to have to say, I really can't go out with my friends like I want to all the time. I'm going to have to, fast off of social media for a period of time, unless it aligns with your business and your business is something that is like an online business or something you're going to operate online. But other than that, like you're going to have to fast from that, or, whatever it is that is taking up your time that is not mandatory or need be. So bottom line is stop making excuses, make it happen, find the time, do what you need to do, and move on. Knowing your limitations and how you operate. Okay. And it kind of goes hand in hand with the first one. But when I say know your limitations, meaning like, for instance, I watch a lot of like, content creators or YouTubers, and a lot of them seem to be single, no children, and young. Okay. I'm 31 years old. A lot of them are like in their early or mid 20s. And it's just like the sky's the limit for them. So they have a lot of time on their hands, and they're able to, seem like they're able to just create content whenever, however, be up all times of night, and it works for them. But that doesn't necessarily work for me, and it may not work for you. So again, if you're working a full-time job, you have kids, you have a spouse, you have to find the time. You have to, figure out your schedule, and even if it's on your lunch break at work, that's time. Even if it's a period of time, from the time you wake up and before you have to get ready for work, that's a period of time. Maybe it's when you get off of work, right? And once you, pick the kids up or get the household situated, when before you go to bed at night, again, maybe the time that you're using scroll on social media, that's the time that you could use to, put forth, whatever it is that you need to in your business. So again, you have to, know your limitations, or, know the structure of your life to say, okay, well, when am I able to do these things? And like for me, the best time for me is Sunday nights. Like on Sunday nights, I can create, a schedule for the week. Like at some point, I was finding myself trying to do things day by day by day. And I quickly found that that did not work for me, and which is why I was getting off track. So you have to, create a schedule. You have to be organized. That's the only way that is going to work, especially if you are, again, that person that has a lot going on in your life, and you're not, 21 years old, that's still living at home with your parents, no kids, no spouse, or any of that, where they can just kind of fit things in however they want to. You have to, know your limitations and know what is going to ultimately work for you. Now, the third thing is knowing who you are and your capabilities. And I think that this is where a lot of times people get stuck too, is because, and when I say know who you are and your capabilities, having confidence is going to go a long way in this space. Knowing your skills, knowing your capabilities, knowing your worth, and knowing that whatever you set out to do, whatever you put out there in the world is going to manifest. It's easier said than done. So let me use an example. Okay. So when I started on my journey, and I decided that, hey, I wanted to be a motivational speaker. And a lot of people say, oh, well, before I even determined what it is that I really wanted to do, people would say, well, what are people asking you? Or, what is it that people come to you for? And so I'm looking at my life, and I'm like, well, it's not really many things that people are coming to me for, or questions that people are asking me. Maybe sometimes, but I think that I had to look back throughout my life, and there was like this line through different things that happened. So my first job that I had was working at a fast food joint, right out of high school. Or actually, I started in high school, and then I worked that job for 2 years. And I would notice that when I would be on the headset in the drive-through, and I'm like, hey, welcome to ABC Chicken, how can I help you? And, I'll take their order. People would look at me whenever they get to the window. And so I used to be like, okay, I don't know why people are like, looking at me, but I just really didn't understand it. So one day, this, just a typical day, and it was like a young lady. She was in a car. It looks like it might have been her mom. And they did the same thing. I opened the window, I'm taking the money, and I'm like, the way they just, was just kind of like looking in the window just made me feel like, why do people do that? It had happened like several times. And then as I was counting the money out the drawer, I heard her say, I thought she was an automated system. And I was just like, I wonder if that's why people look at me this way when they come through the drive-through, because they think I'm an automated system. So anyway, that was quite funny. That was like my first experience. But there's other times, like even people in my circle that would, say things about the way that I speak. And, I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, how else am I supposed to talk? But I guess being the fact that I'm from the projects, a lot of people that I was around, unfortunately, was people who are from the projects as well, or however you want to call it. And, so they would, when I'm around them, and I'm talking and stuff, they think like, oh, you talk proper, or, you speak with like proper etiquette. I'm like, no, I mean, this is how I'm supposed to talk, right? I mean, I know there's a time and a place, and there's times where, I'm just talking, I really don't know. And so, but it was just quite interesting that, they will point that out when I'm thinking like, well, how else am I supposed to talk? And it just really, just started to kind of create this snowball, because once I ended up getting into customer service and I would talk to customers over the phone, they would say the same thing, like, oh, I just, love the way that, how well you speak, or, just me, the way that I was able to listen very well and be able to respond at the right moments, no matter what it is that I did, whether if I worked in fast food, I worked at the store, whatever the case may be. So when I say knowing who you are and your capabilities, it's looking within yourself and saying, okay, what is unique about me? Because let me tell you something. You're not here by chance. Okay. God did not create you to take up space in this world. I don't care what you're seeing on social media. I don't care what you see at your job. I don't care what you see at school. I don't care where you're seeing or hearing things. There is a reason why you're here. There is a reason why God has placed you on this earth. And please understand that. Understand that if you don't know anything else, right? There is a reason why you were created. There is not any chance or mistake that you were made and that you are here. So if you have to ask, a friend or a family member, right, what is it that they could see you doing, right? Or if you really just think about and pay attention to maybe the things that people are asking you, the compliments people are making, because sometimes it's not always loud. It's not always obvious. Sometimes as you think about, your life, you just kind of, start thinking about these experiences throughout your life, you'll start to notice maybe there's certain compliments that people give you about maybe a thing that you do. Maybe it's the way you dress. Maybe you could be a fashion designer, the way that you're able to put clothes together. Maybe it's something that you actually make, you create, right? And it might be a no-brainer, something, I don't know, you could just be sitting there beatboxing and you don't even know it. And somebody like, hey, you could be a professional beatboxer. Like, I don't know. But sometimes it's the things that we disregard, the things that we're like, oh, that's nothing, whatever. It's just people are just saying that, whatever the case may be. No, that might be just the thing that has created you and what has made you who you are and why God has created you. So please look into yourself, look within, and if it's something that you're not already aware of, do or go through a period of introspection and really tap into who you are and who God has created you to be. Now, the fourth thing is really important, even when you're figuring that out, like, once you figure that out, the fourth thing is having tunnel vision and not caring about what nobody else is doing or what nobody else is saying. If you haven't heard the saying, I think it was the late President Theodore Roosevelt that said, comparison is the thief of joy. And that could be far from the truth. Okay. There's so many influences, things, people, places, and we're seeing all these things on social media and all these people that look to be happy and living this lavish life. But comparison is the thief of joy. You have to have tunnel vision. You have to focus on you and your life and what it is that you're trying to accomplish, because worried about somebody else and what they have going on is not getting you nowhere. That's not paying your bills. That's not, helping you lose any weight. It's not helping you eat healthier. It's not helping you get that job. It's not going to help you get back in school. It's not going to help you start that business. Okay. So you just being on social media, looking at what everybody else have going on, that's not getting you anywhere. The thing is, there's usually two things that come with those situations. Those people have put in the work. They have worked hard. They were disciplined. They were consistent. They were committed. They did all the things that they needed to do. And baby, it's their time. It's their time to shine because they did the work. Or it could be the fact that you're envying and wanting to be like somebody else that No telling how they even got the things that they have. They could have committed fraud, probably stole from somebody. Like, you really don't know. You just see all these things and you're just like, oh man, I wish that was me. Or, oh man, why am I not this, this far? That's because, why, you're sitting on social media worrying about what everybody else is doing instead of you creating a plan, you creating a goal, you getting clear on your vision, and then you start implementing. If you have tunnel vision and you focus on that one thing that you're passionate about, that one thing that really really interests you, the one thing that God put you on this earth for, and you have tunnel vision and you hone in on that thing and you focus in on that thing and you master that thing, you're not even going to be worried about nobody else. That thing going to consume you so much that you're not even going to have time to think or be worried about what somebody else has going on. So definitely have tunnel vision, and definitely do not focus on what nobody else is doing. Only focus on your own plate. Okay. Now, the final and fifth thing is, what is your why? What are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for your kids? Maybe your parents or whoever raised you. Maybe you want to do it for your community, wherever you came from. You want to be able to give back to your community. Maybe it's something you want to change the world. It's something that you're passionate about and you want to change the world. Maybe you want to start a women's organization or some type of center for kids, or you want to teach dance to the less fortunate. Maybe it's something that you're trying to do. But you have to know your why, and your why is what drives you. Because at any point you give up, or you decide that, I quit, I can't do this anymore, or whatever the case may be, you're failing other people. You're failing yourself. You're failing your kids. You're failing your parents. You're failing the underserved children, or those kids that come from underserved communities. Okay. You're failing the women in the organization that you want to create. Maybe those, women who were, maybe once on drugs, right? You're failing those people because you are not implementing and you are not getting started. So if I say to you, out of all the things that I've just went over, right, is to implement. I'm not here to motivate anybody. This video here is not to, motivate you. It's here to spark change. So after you're done watching this video, I want you to, get you a calendar, get you a pen and paper, and I want you to write out that vision, write out that plan, write out that goal. Then I want you to write out your why. Who are you doing it for, and why you're doing it? And I want you to get clear on what it is that you want to do. What's your passions? What's your interests? What your skills, your experiences? Something that that drives you. That whatever it is you can do it with your eyes closed. Write it out and create a plan, and then implement that plan. Make sure that you like, you share, you subscribe on this video, and make sure you comment. I want to hear from you. I want to hear about what's your why. What is it that you're trying to do that you might have, set yourself back for, or have made excuses for, whatever the case may be, that you are pledging that you're going to start today. I want to hear from you. My friend, until next time,